Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Fiverr and WooCommerce joint event, Mastering Omnichannel, Achieving Business Growth with Fiverr and WooCommerce. My name is Liz Desio-Frick, and I'm the community manager here at Fiverr. I hope both customers and freelancers in our community have the best possible experience on our platform. Today's webinar is hosted by Fiverr, an online marketplace empowering freelancers and businesses to connect, collaborate, and create. Today, we will speak with panelist Nicole Brody from Fiverr and Julia Calicrate from WooCommerce about how to effectively grow your business online. WooCommerce, an open source commerce solution built on WordPress, empowers small and medium businesses to sell online. In partnership with Fiverr's project management service, business owners can very effectively grow their online business. We hope you enjoyed today's conversation, and if you want to check out Fiverr's offering to e-commerce, we will now share the link in the chat. As for questions, we will have time at the end, so feel free to ask any questions you have during the session in our chat. At the end of our keynotes, we will answer. Now, without further ado, I'll pass it off to Nicole to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here talking with everyone. I am a digital marketer with over 12 years of wide experience across many industries, as well as a digital entrepreneur. I'm also a coach. I have online courses and an app development in the wellness space. And after working as a pro seller on Fiverr, and actually before becoming a project manager here at Fiverr, I was a pro seller evaluator for Fiverr across the digital marketing, business, writing and translation, verticals. And my freelancing experience really helps understand every project from both the talent and the client's end, because I've been on both spectrums. And now I'm overseeing the team of experts and leaning more into the management side for the team of project managers.
Awesome. Thank you, Liz and Nicole. My name is Julia, and I'm a director of product marketing at Automatic that develops one of the most popular e-commerce platforms in the world, WooCommerce. At Woo, I launched a card reader and tap-to-pay functionality that empowers our merchants to give their shoppers a seamless shopping experience across various devices and facilitates a great omni-channel experience for shoppers. Prior to my work with Woo, I had spent over 13 years as a product manager and marketer in healthcare, banking, and SaaS industries. I am really excited to be here today to talk about omnichannel and how it fits into the world of commerce. It's a major trend among top performing sellers, but it can be a bit of a buzzword. So what does omnichannel actually mean? Why is it important as a growth strategy? Today, I'll talk about all of that, but also share a few ways that you can incorporate omnichannel into your business strategy and really get into the practical side. Before we dive into strategy, I want to take a step back and look at what a typical shopper might experience in today's online shopping journey. I want you to think about how you discover and buy a new product as a shopper. You might be scrolling through your Instagram feed and you see an ad. The product is pretty interesting. You're intrigued, but you're not ready to buy yet. You don't know the brand and you've never seen this product before. You save your ad, the ad to your collection, and you check out the brand's Instagram profile. Maybe you find other interesting products they're selling. A few weeks later, you're back scrolling through Instagram and you see another ad for the same product. This time, you go to the website through the link inside Instagram and you check out the product listing in the online shop. A box pops up and you get offered a small discount in exchange for signing up for the newsletter. Now, the bigger the purchase, the longer your journey might take. So for a bigger purchase, maybe you're still not quite sure and you look for some reviews or even go to the shop in person to check out the item. At some point, you get that discount reminder and then you're finally ready to buy. You go back to the online store where your card has been saved for you and you check out using your favorite payment method. While it feels like your checkout journey is ended when you were ready to buy, a poor experience can still be a massive deal breaker. Finally, your order comes to your doorstep, and hopefully, if you don't want to make a return, the purchase experience is complete. As you can see, it took quite a long time to get to just one sale in this journey. So shoppers today expect to be able to do at least some, if not most, of their shopping online. The degree of online versus in person might vary between demographics, geographic regions, and so on. At the very least, most shoppers worldwide, no matter who they are, expect to be able to research products on their laptop, desktop, or a mobile device, interact with their favorite brands, and compare prices online. To meet these demands, sellers can provide a unified shopping experience across all their channels. Looking back at our shopping journey, an omni-channel strategy is what enabled this type of a seamless and engaging shopping experience. It played to the strengths of all channels and met the expectations of the shopper. A great commerce omni-channel strategy includes both marketing and transactional components. On the marketing side, it's all about the interactions across multiple channels. A shopper might see a campaign ad across different platforms and even get a tailored discount depending on their interactions. On the transactional side, a shopper can purchase an item, whether it was on the TikTok shop or an e-commerce site. That experience should feel the same no matter what the channel that the customer ended up on before their purchase was completed. Now, I want to get a little deeper on definitions and talk about the difference between multi-channel and omni-channel. These terms are often used interchangeably, but they're not the same thing. It's important to understand the difference if you're a seller. E-commerce businesses have started to meet the demands of shoppers by offering their products across multiple selling channels. Product might be sold at a retail location, through an online store, and through a social media shop, and this is multi-channel commerce. It's still segmented across each channel, and it's very product-focused. So how is omni-channel different from multi-channel? Well, it's the strategy that makes this experience unified. If you think of it another way, multi-channel is required before you can have omni-channel. So imagine a customer browsing a product in your store, then finding the same product on your website with all their preferences saved, and finally receiving a personalized discount offer via social media ad. That's omni-channel. It allows a shopper to seamlessly transition between any channel on their purchasing journey. It's also very customer-centric. And Nicole, I know you have a lot of commerce businesses working with Fiverr. I'd love to know what you've heard from your customers about multi-channel, omni-channel experiences they've had.
Yeah, sure. So I think one of the most common question is they really don't know the difference or how to differentiate between those two, the multi-channel or the omni-channel. And I can totally understand why it's confusing. And later I'll share, how we help them with that. But yeah, I think it's the distinguishing between the two is definitely hard for them.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's dive into a little bit more on that customer centricity focus. So while multi-channel commerce focuses on maximizing the reach through various channels, omni-channel experiences deeply resonate with what the shopper needs at any point in their journey with your brand. And those needs are going to vary depending on the touch point. So what fuels this customer-centric approach? Great data and analytics. You must be able to track a customer's journey from the moment they discover your product all the way through post-purchase feedback across all channels, giving you the insights to tailor that experience during the sale and then as a repeat shopper later. On top of that, each insight from any one channel should enhance the experience of the other channels. So a concrete example here is the one that I mentioned of being able to store preferences across every touch point. To recap, while multi-channel selling might get your products out there across various channels and platforms, omni-channel weaves all the data together into a single narrative that anticipates the needs of your customers. By now, you might already be sold on the concept of omnichannel commerce. If you have any doubts, studies have shown that businesses with omnichannel customer engagement increase sales revenue an average of 179% more than the businesses without. These sellers also retain 91% more customers. Those are pretty amazing numbers, but beyond the numbers, what are the actual benefits of adding an omnichannel strategy for your business? Well, first up, great customer experience. Omnichannel is about being everywhere, but with a purpose. This includes personalizing recommendations, retaining in-store and online purchase history under a single customer account, and providing offers consistent with each shopper's unique purchase habits. Because your shoppers receive a consistent, high-quality experience at every step of the way, they stay loyal to your brand and become repeat customers. Next, there's the benefit of increased sales and marketing reach. So even if you don't typically work with a channel, being available where your customers need you to be will help you grow your business. A frictionless journey makes shoppers pretty happy, but it also opens up cross-selling and upselling opportunities to boost your average order revenue that you get. And I've already talked a bit about data, but really integrated channels allow you to understand shopper demographics, behavior preferences, and buying patterns. This type of really high quality data lets you tailor your marketing efforts, fine tune your transactional channels, and make informed decisions about your strategy. And then, of course, there's amazing benefit of brand consistency. Cohesive branding across all touch points reinforces your business's identity. It really helps shoppers resonate with your brand, which in turn enhances both spend volume and value. Think of it as a nuanced way to repeat your brand without being super intrusive. And finally, market adaptability. At WooCommerce, I've experienced firsthand how incredibly fast-paced e-commerce is as an industry. Being able to quickly respond to these broader changes and growing customer needs is super critical. An omnichannel strategy forces you to stay ahead of these changes by being more aware of shopper trends in your own data. So as you can see, there's so many benefits of implementing an omni-channel strategy for a business. And while I talked about the great customer experience, shoppers are delighted when there's very little friction in their shopping journey. The level of personalization and easy transitions between channels are the two pillars that turn someone just looking into a loyal customer. And so far, we've talked about what an omni-channel strategy is and how it benefits commerce businesses, but you might be wondering, where do I start? I'm going to share 5 different ways you can incorporate an omnichannel strategy into your business. Keep in mind that every business is unique, so you might need to pick and choose your strategy based on your exact business needs.
Do you mind if I just jump in for 1 second?
Of course, of course.
Yeah, so as I was listening, I just wanted to share that I find that if we look at personas, either one person has their expertise and not enough time, and the other one, might have the time but just lacks their expertise. So we really find the right freelancer for whatever the need is, and specific to the industry and niche-based expert to fill those really important gaps. So I just wanted to share that a little bit.
That's a great way to talk about personas and how it applies to omnichannel for sure. A great point there. Thank you, Nicole. So what are some potential ways to approach omnichannel? Well, let's start with retail, since it's often a significant commerce presence for many sellers. Retail can be standalone, like having a physical store presence, or it include a wholesale strategy or selling to other retailers. There's so many ways to connect retail to an online shop. So let's take a look at some of the key pathways. Allowing shoppers to buy something online and picking up the item in store reduces both shipping costs for you and wait time for the shopper, which is one of the biggest friction points with online shopping. It can be frustrating to buy something, then have to wait more than a week for the shipping, especially if you need something urgently. When shoppers come to your store, it often opens up upsell and cross-sell opportunities, and it even shows your customers products they might have missed in an online store. Similar to buying online and picking up in person, sometimes shoppers aren't ready to purchase something without seeing it in person. Providing an option for reserving something in your online store and then picking up in person can have a positive impact on the total purchase volume. If something is low stock or limited edition, it also encourages shoppers to pick up within a set time. But you have to be careful, as there's a balance between letting someone reserve an item and then not holding on to that inventory for too long. Being able to return something in store definitely relieves the pain points of having to ship something back. Even with prepaid shipping labels, most shoppers have to go a bit out of their way to get the return mailed. Offering a free return in store is a great way to give your shoppers additional choice. It brings extra traffic to your retail location and lets shoppers feel more in control over that end-to-end shopping experience. If you add on the opportunity to exchange rather than return, that's another great win in the experience. The channel that a lot of sellers are exploring today is, of course, selling through social media. Platforms like Instagram and Pinterest have a very visual way for users to connect with brands and engage with each other. Most platforms allow shopping directly through that social channel. So for example, a WooCommerce store can sync inventory directly with Pinterest through an integration. And this boosts your sales because shoppers can buy in the moment without having to leave their favorite app. Social commerce enables shoppers to share products via direct messages, by liking and reposting, or even saving it out to their personal collection or board. Advertising on these platforms uses algorithms based on incredibly large data sets. So when you launch an ad on social media, the targeting capabilities for social commerce are very powerful and a great way to reach both new audiences and existing shoppers as a reinforcement. To take advantage of social commerce, use your best product photography to encourage sharing and list those products in platform so that customers can make their purchases without leaving the app. Social selling is a very deceptive name. It's actually about building relationships and not sales. Top performing brands use this unique level of access to build trust, understand their audience, and align their values to their unique customer needs. Most brands are already on social media, but not all of them track online conversations about their brand and then their competitor's brand. Social listening tools like Sprout Social or Hootsuite can pull in this data for you and provide an analysis. After you know what people are saying and how they're saying it, you can tap into these conversations through brand stories. You can also evaluate how you want to address what your shoppers are saying about your competitors. By entering the conversations, people can get to know your brand directly. A pro tip for social selling is to build engagement with branded hashtags and promotions that encourage user-generated content. People are seen by your brand, they feel valued by being able to share their moments, and you have fewer social media posts to plan. It's a win-win. And another tip that we have, and this is courtesy of a Woo expert, Miralab, is to make sure you're not just reusing the same content across all your social channels. Interactions are really different across platforms. When people engage with your brand content, they're expecting a particular type of interaction that's very specific to each platform. Many sellers today also rely on selling across marketplaces such as Etsy, Amazon, Google Shopping, or eBay. Businesses often start small, selling either on social media channels or the marketplace, or even both. And marketplaces are a really great way to build up that brand trust before branching out on your own dedicated online store. You can tap into your broader audience, use keywords or tags to help people find your specific items when they search for something. And usually it's really easy to list products on marketplaces. So what else is good about marketplaces? Well, for one, people are really used to shopping on them. Think about your own shopping patterns. If you buy a lot on Amazon, you've come to expect their amazing customer service, easy returns, and super fast shipping, especially if you're a Prime member. The marketplaces take care of it all, including troubleshooting when something goes wrong on the platform. On the flip side, you often have to pay commission fees and you lose some control over your branding. If you are selling on a platform such as Amazon, it will continue to be the big brand focus and your brand will be secondary. You're also going to face significant competition, making it really tough to showcase your products. Combined experiences are another way to help bring your omnichannel strategy to life. If your business does not have a retail location, look for other ways to provide interactions virtually. One strategy might include having virtual consultation with an associate to help personalize a visit. The shopper gets almost the same experience they would going into your retail location. They learn what is the best option for them, they get that human interaction, and maybe even make an additional purchase. Bringing a little virtual experience into retail is a great way to let your shoppers interact across multiple channels. People love being able to favorite items when they shop online. They also expect to be notified when something is back in stock and make easy to search shopping lists based on categories. In return, you get access to lots of data about preferences, what products are popular and which ones are less so. Taking the digital list a step further, providing recommendations based on the shopper's individualized list can increase purchase volume and value. If you have retail locations, shoppers can even pre-select items they want to try on later in store online. Having a real-time shopping experience with a retail associate can lead to a really great shopping experience. Appointments can be scheduled in store or virtually, and associates can tap into digital shopping lists to provide the best possible recommendations. For businesses without retail locations, you can combine this with a virtual consultation instead. QR codes also work really well if you have retail locations. Shoppers can scan items when they're shopping in person and save them for later. They can add items to their online cart or even personalize something that's limited in store. This strategy helps to keep your stock volume low, and it lets shoppers experience a product, especially if it's a variation, in person before purchasing it online. So I mentioned 5 practical ways you can begin to create your own personalized omnichannel strategy based on your business. How do you know what's the right strategy? Well, plenty of research. Begin by figuring out exactly where your shoppers are coming from. This requires that you have a way to understand the customer journey and be able to attribute purchases to channels. Knowing which are the most important channels for your customers is just the beginning. You also need to understand their expectations, dig deeper into any gaps that you might have, and know what channels your competitors use. From understanding Google Analytics and order attribution, reaching out to your shoppers directly, whether it's on social media or post-purchase surveys, there is no substitute for actually doing the research work. Once you have the data, look for opportunities to fill in your channel gaps. Remember, in a true omni-channel experience, a shopper can start in any one of the channel points and feel like these experiences are completely connected. Shoppers should be able to place their order online, call a retail location to check on the order status, come in to pick up an order at the retail location, and then return it in person at that same location. Or they can buy something in person. They can get a receipt emailed to them along with a small coupon encouraging them to shop online, and then make a return by mail. Every single one of these interactions should be centrally stored and your inventory synced across each channel, allowing you to manage everything in one place and know where that order came from. Regardless of the channels shoppers choose, they always expect great customer service. Responding as quickly as possible across each channel from email to Instagram is a must. Omnichannel customer service also requires you to have a same centralized backend. So enable your customer service team to tap into visit and purchase history across every channel and provide the entire customer history so that questions can be answered quickly and accurately by all your associates. Consistent branding across all channels is another area to analyze and address for a true omnichannel experience. Shoppers must be able to identify and resonate with your brand at every touch point. It helps them to trust what you sell and should always be predictable in a good way. Some quick wins include keeping all content on brand, pricing products the same across every channel, and limiting your brand style, including colors and fonts. Being really consistent with your messaging and value also helps, but be sure to retain some flexibility based on the channel. Do not simply copy and paste messaging, and always respect platform expectations. Finally, once you've set up an omnichannel strategy, don't forget to use the centralized information source to continually improve and adjust your experiences to your shoppers' needs. Remembering their preferences, making recommendations based on prior visits and prior purchase history, and tailoring discounts encourages repeat purchases, increases your average order value. Understanding market trends and real-time data allows you to make adjustments in the omnichannel journey that's responsive and will continue to scale up with your business as it grows. So by now you should feel confident in taking that first step towards an omnichannel strategy, even if that means assessing where your business is currently at and starting with some research to figure out your strengths. With an e-commerce platform like WooCommerce, you'll have plenty of opportunities to incorporate an omnichannel strategy into your business. Whether you decide to use a card reader in your retail store or enable social media shop integration that syncs with your online store, WooCommerce is truly composable commerce that works with your unique business needs.
So amazing. Thank you so much, Julia. That was super interesting. And I really personally learned a lot. So thank you so much. And when we were preparing for this session, we really tried to think about all the different personas working in the e-commerce space, what challenges them the most. And we realized that when we really narrowed it down, we came up with just 2 main personas. And I'm going to describe them to you. And I want you just to try and think for yourself as you're listening, which one do you most identify with, which description fits you best. So let's have a look. First of all, we have persona A, entrepreneur, trying to do everything on your own. On one hand, you don't have the ability to do everything, but on the other hand, you still can't afford to hire many employees because you just built your business and you're just getting started. So have a think if that resonates with you, if you're a persona A. Or perhaps we have this lovely gentleman, persona B. You're working at growing your e-commerce company. I'm guessing a lot of you here are from marketing, perhaps operations, product, which means you're juggling numerous responsibilities and tasks. If anyone resonates with that, I know that I have many times. And you just don't have the time or even the capacity to dive into managing and coordinating multiple freelancers, not to mention the exact experience over all those different things that you need to do. And you just realize it's time to work with freelancers who are domain experts. So, voting time. We would really love to see who do we have more in the audience. So out of persona A, or persona B, this is your time to share. Who do you resonate with? So please write in the chat right now and let's see the results. And I'm just going to let the chat run for a bit. Amazing. I see people who have already started. So let's just pop in a few more. Okay, amazing. I see the chat going off. All right. So it's really great to see more and more people writing. Interesting. Thank you for sharing your answers with us. We have a lot going on, so you can stop now because I'm going to go to the next slide. But thank you. Super interesting to see all those different personas. Awesome, guys. Thank you for engaging. All right. So now, as Julia said, learning about Omnichannel is one thing, but executing and implementing is another. So the bottom line is that many of you are in a position of juggling many balls in the air and really trying to execute fast and complex projects. And you could really use a partner. So this is where Fiverr realized that whether you are starting your own e-commerce business or trying to scale, you can benefit from a business partner. Now, who is this business partner? Well, first of all, it's a person who is an e-commerce domain expert who will really plan your project from end to end. They're dedicated for you specifically, and they help you balance not only quality, but also cost while getting you results. So that sounds pretty great, right? Let's continue. So I'm going to share the process in just a few steps so you can understand how it all works. So once you start working with your dedicated business partner or project manager, right, they are going to first scope your project. So you will meet with them in a discovery call. They will learn about your business and your needs and really scope it for you and understanding exactly what services do you need based on their experience and expertise. Okay. And then what they'll do, so they will actually build you a team of freelancers, which is awesome. So it means that, the business partners have experience on the platform. They know which sellers are amazing. They also have, the ability to see things that perhaps you don't see when you're looking for freelancers. So they make sure also that it's based on your timelines and budget. So they kind of do all that chatter for you and relay it to you once it's all done. So that saves a lot of time, hassle, and probably a lot of stress if you are resonating with that. And then finally, they execute and deliver. So they oversee all your work, make sure you get high quality result and within your deadlines. So just think about it as you've given someone all the heavy work. You can go and do other things in the meantime, and then they're just going to speak to you when it's necessary, when they need you to have a look at deliverables and things like that. So it takes a lot of stress off you. And so, as I mentioned before, here are some of the benefits, and I did touch on a few, but you can count on our industry expertise. So perhaps you don't have the expertise in all the different areas. So that's where the freelancers help you, and the business partners to choose the right freelancers. Reduce your workload, of course, because you don't have to do everything. You don't have to find all these people yourself. To make sure that you receive quality deliverables. So as a business partner, when we are receiving deliverables, if something is not right, instead of even coming to you, what we do is say, like, listen, this is not based on the scope. So can we just fix that? So you don't have to worry about keep on going back and forth. We do that for you. And then what is amazing is this full transparency through the process. So we work from within your account, your Fiverr account as a member. So you are able to see the conversations within the orders and look at everything. So I think that's a really amazing part of this service, right? Okay, so now I want to share with you a story about a recent client we had, and this is really a perfect example on how we utilized external professional talent to grow our client's e-commerce business. So Andrew, who was the client, is the founder of a company, Ecom Turpid. Turpid is a website for pet accessories, and also he gives tips to fellow pet lovers, and just a few basic details about the business and the scope of the project, which you can see on the slide. So myself and another business partner were managing this. It took around 51 days, and his budget was about $5,500. And he was really overwhelmed with the social media, getting good content out there, making sure his SEO was right, and his branding, needed some work. So he came to us to help him do that, right? So as I mentioned before, he really needed a rebrand. He needed to increase sales, which of course means looking at a lot of different things, having a strategy, looking at the SEO to improve traffic, all things that he really didn't have any expertise in, right? So in the end, after going through the 1, 2, 3, so scoping, finding his freelancers, right, which matched his needs, and then, delivering it, we came through with a marketing strategy, which was specific for his business, right? We did branding packages, which really looked amazing. I was really happy with it. It was a really great experience. We did SEO management and blog writing with the right keywords so that he could increase his traffic. And we created a content calendar for him with one of our social media experts. And I'm pretty sure till today, they are still working together. So once the project was finished, we built that trust together with that team. He loved the results, and I'm pretty sure it's still a happy relationship going on with them, and without needing me, because he just needed a few extra things, and it didn't really need a business partner. So that's something really wonderful. So what was the outcome? He had the comprehensive content strategy plan, which I think is still going till today. He just needed someone to kind of get him started. Content management, so he had increased engagement, right? The rebranding gave amazing brand awareness. It was really beautiful. And of course, the SEO. So he had we have long-term success because we set his website up, made sure the SEO, everything was right. There was fast communication throughout. It was a really great process. I found he loved the extra help, and also having a business partner, when we were getting the deliverables, for example, for the branding, he would ask me, what do I think? And I was like, I was able to give my professional input, and that is what the business partners will do for you. It's not just managing, it's also giving their expertise to you as a business partner, right? So so I think that he works with some of them still today, maybe even for the blogs. So that's ongoing and less, a structured project. So it helps you build trust and really long-term success, I would say. All right, so Andrew's case is one out of hundreds of e-commerce projects we worked on with clients. And these are the main project categories we see clients need to execute, whether just building up their business or in a growth and expansion. So Now it's super, super important to remember that you know exactly what you're looking for. But one of the great benefits is that you can let our experts help you define what exactly your business will need in a certain field. For example, social media strategy, videos, UGCs, omni-channel strategies, of course, which Julia mentioned before. So we really help you tackle every project from strategy to execution. Okay, so some numbers. I love these numbers. Okay, we have gathered these over the years, and we're really, really proud of them. So we've had over 600 completed projects. And in comparison to things like agencies and in-house and doing it on your own, there is a 40% increase of faster completion. So things getting done faster. So if you can imagine yourself, you start a project and you're trying to do it by yourself, and then other things come in the way and you put things to the side and it's not a priority and you go back and forth. Well, we have a 40% faster completion. So you actually get your project finished. And then we also found that there was a reduction of cost by 53%. That's a pretty big reduction. So that's in comparison to agencies, in-house, doing it on your own, and perhaps find maybe the freelancer that doesn't fit, so then you have to do it again, and all those kind of things we took into account. So just by these numbers, it's such a valuable service. If you guys agree with me. Okay, so we have pretty much come to the end of the presentation, but we wanted to do some Q&A. So I'm going to let the host go through some Q&A. I think there's going to be people writing in the chat some questions, so we're ready to answer.
Well, first of all, thank you guys so much, Nicole and Julia. I know this presentation was really helpful for a lot of the customers I work with on Fiverr. So many of them depend on the e-commerce to support their small businesses. So with that in mind, I had a question to kick off for Julia. Could you tell us how WooCommerce specifically caters to the needs of small and medium-sized businesses in comparison to other e-commerce platforms?
Oh, great question. Well, what we offer is truly composable commerce, so available to every customer, no matter their size. This means that you can start very minimally and then scale up with WooCommerce as your business needs grow. Your store can look and function exactly the way you want, whether it's beautiful site theme or making sure your checkout experience is fast, customizable, and reduces friction to convert more customers. You can compose a platform for what you need and nothing that you don't. It's the best combination of brand power and robust, flexible functionality.
Yeah, and I think just that notion of like the things you need and not the things you don't is so important for a small business, especially when there's so many platforms out here that cater from like businesses of all sizes. So
Definitely.
My next question is actually going to be for Nicole. And for those already on Fiverr, I know that we want to learn about some e-commerce tools that Fiverr has to offer. So for those in the audience not familiar with Fiverr Pro, Nicole, could you share how Fiverr Pro is specifically set up for e-commerce customers?
Yeah, sure. Great question. So basically Fiverr Pro, look at it like your VIP access to top-notch freelancers. So your online business can really quickly perform and expand. And what's great is we handpick each pro freelancer in our catalog for e-commerce businesses just like yours in the audience, people listening. So there's no more outsourcing headaches. Fiverr Pro really lets you collaborate with freelancers as a team. Let's say build a dream talent pool, keep projects on track, and manage spending hassle-free. And guess what? Something else is amazing is that our professional services team is here really to make your life easier, from matching your business with the best talent, as I mentioned in the presentation, to handling more complex projects with our project management service. So yeah, it just takes everything, all the stress away, and you have this kind of magic service, which is for the VIPs like the ones listening. So yeah, I hope that answers your question okay.
Yeah, definitely, Nicole. And I wanted to mention Fiverr internally, we use that function as well on Fiverr Pro. So I could speak to it specifically that like those projects, the way that you can manage a project on there is very helpful. My next question is going to go to Julia, and this one's from the audience. I understand the importance and potential of omnichannels, but how do you actually get started?
Oh, great question. I went through some of the tactics when I was going through my part, but really plenty of research to understand where your customers come from, what they expect, what your competitors are doing, and then knowing your own capabilities. If you're a small business just starting out, you really have to pick only those channels that you can support and that will have the biggest impact and not overextend yourself. Once you've grown as a business and scaled up and you have a team to support you, you can keep expanding into new channel territory, but it's always better to start small and work with your strengths rather than try to cover all your gaps right away. To start, also understanding your specific customers by breaking them down into audience segments and then figuring out which channels each segment uses. So make sure that your support can extend to each channel that you choose to adopt. And finally, you need to make sure that your data is fully integrated. With WooCommerce, you can use extensions such as Codisto to be able to sync marketplace accounts with Amazon, Walmart. You can also add social media shop integrations such as Pinterest, and then you can use our card readers or tap to pay functionality to offer in-person and retail channels. And then to keep improving your omni-channel strategy, you also need to learn and adapt from the data that you monitor. Keep an eye on trends, changes, and then any behaviors that need an adjustment to your strategy.
Awesome. Thanks, Julia. And we have another audience question. This one is for Nicole. And this is referencing back to the Fiverr Pro Project Manager. What expertise do these business partners have? And do I get to choose the project manager?
Okay, amazing. I absolutely love this question. So the business partners have a lot of expertise in their field, depending on which domain. To talk about the expertise, it's not only that they have expertise, but they are really, they're vetted quite, I don't know if the word intensely is the right one, but they go through to be sure that they're the top quality and that they have all the expertise. They go through a process where we vet them, we check their experience, of course. We meet with them, we do kind of like an interview process. Then they go through some of our, I don't know if to call it training, but protocols that to make sure that everyone is working to a high standard, that they have the right expertise, and that it's going to give our clients really the best experience possible. So the expertise is amazing and they all have a lot of it. So that's the first one. And in terms of choosing the project manager, so we actually have a dedicated team that is trained to choose the exact right expertise for a specific client. So that you don't really get to choose it, but it goes better than that. We have a team that knows everything about the right business partner to suit your specific project.
I actually have a follow-up question. It's from someone else in the audience for Nicole. And that's, how involved do I need to be in the project? I'm looking for someone that I can fully trust and just see final deliverables.
Yeah, awesome. So to be honest, we have a lot of different kind of personas of clients and all different ways that clients like to work. So in terms of this question, whoever's asking for it, yes, you can trust your business partner and they will do everything. If there is something that they need from you, like to approve something in terms of just a branding, right, to approve a mood board, they will just send you that, and then they continue for everything else, so that you will just see the final deliverables, and then you let them know if that's they're good for you. But then we also have a lot of other clients that like to be involved. So basically, the level of involvement is really up to you, and we adapt to whatever you like. So it's a perfect kind of scenario, I think.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicole. And we have one final question that's just for Julia. The next few will be for both. So for Julia, you talked about customer-centric approach in your presentation. How do I know what my customers really want? And do you have any tips on how to research or gather that data?
Oh, that's another great question. We're getting some really good ones today. Truth be told, this question is one that could have an entire webinar to like just for that. But nothing really compares to diving in and speaking with your customers. It can be really tough to tap into your shopper audience. So how you do the research will just depend on what options you have specifically. The best way to understand your shoppers, though, is by looking at their purchase history and then other prior interactions. This can be a little tough if you're selling offline. So having a loyalty program is a great way to monitor behavior offline. And of course, online, you get a lot better data. And you think about large retailers such as Target always asking for your number at checkout if you're part of their rewards program. You then also have to have a way to interpret and understand pretty large data sets. So make sure you have the capability to actually do something with this data once you have it. Interacting with customers on social media is an amazing way to tap into needs, especially if social is already a big part of your business. You have the added benefit of potentially seeing location data whenever shoppers interact with your brand on social or online. Some other tactics might include sending coupons in exchange for survey completions from your existing customers, and then having your retail associates observe and provide feedback from customers is another two ways that you can get closer to your existing repeat shoppers. There are many ways that you can get creative here. When you're tapping into new audiences or markets, you can leverage services such as usertesting.com. So you pay to work with a targeted audience, but it can be a great way to understand shopper behavior, especially if you do not have any existing customers yet, or if you're looking to expand into a brand new vertical or other market.
Awesome. Thank you, Julia. And so that concludes our questions for both Nicole and Julia separately. We're actually going to move into questions that I've collected for both. We'll start with Nicole to answer this first question. How can businesses leverage Fiverr's project management service to streamline the setup and management of their WooCommerce stores?
Okay, amazing. So this is really a classic project for our project management service. So great question. And a lot of our project managers have executed this use case exactly. Okay, so when you build your online store, there's a lot of moving parts and tasks and headaches, and our project managers know what needs to be done, from content to SEO and design, like what I mentioned with Andrew from Turpit, setting up shipping and payments to website development. I know it's a lot, right? Just thinking about it makes my head spin. So they'll find and build you a team of expert talent in those specific fields who specialize on the WooCommerce platform. So there won't be any onboarding necessary. They have the experience, and you can get your business up and running as quickly as possible. So yeah, I hope that is helpful for you.
It's definitely helpful. I'll let Julia take it too.
Yeah, and then to add on, just with WooCommerce specifically, so once you're on the platform and onboarded, we have so many ways to, again, as I mentioned, right, it's very composable. It lets you extend and pick and choose what you need and what you don't at every step of the way as your business scales and grows, from, lots of extensions that we have to really make it customizable to just all the things that we offer in sort of our core platform, right? It's exactly what you need for your business at any given time, no matter what size you are. So, yeah.
Awesome, because I think there's probably multiple business sizes in the audience, so that's really good to know. And we're actually going to have to start wrapping up soon. So this is going to be our last question of the day, and we'll head back to Julia to answer first. What is your number one tip for any entrepreneur who wants to implement an omnichannel strategy in their business?
Oh, definitely my number one tip, and I think I mentioned this a few times, but honestly, just starting with data and making sure that that data not only informs the beginnings of your omnichannel strategy, but continues to inform as your business grows. It's really important to be able to dig into your specific business and then the shopping trends that come out, especially as you grow, because it's not enough to just look at your competitors. You have to understand what's happening in your own business as much as possible, and then just continuously research, feed that data back, and then that's how you create really great omnichannel experiences for your shoppers.
Okay, great. So I think for any business who really wants to implement a new trend or strategy, not only with omnichannel, you have to really understand what you need in order for it to happen, which means the scope of the project, and of course the budget, which can be a little bit challenging, right, if you've never done it before. So we know e-commerce is super fast-paced landscape, and the way to move quickly is through outsourcing expert talent to really get your project done fast and well. So this way you can really focus on what you do best and get the project done in the meantime.
Thank you, Nicole. And thank you both so much. Unfortunately, we're reaching the end of our conversation with both Julia and Nicole. Really wanted to say that I personally enjoyed all the knowledge insights. And I also wanted to say thank you to everyone who came and asked such thoughtful questions today. We'll be sharing the recording of this webinar on our social channels. And also, if you already have a project in mind that you'd like to share with our team of experts, visit Fiverr for e-commerce. Make sure to check out your inbox after this session with more information and to book your free call with our e-com experts. Again, that link is also going to be shared in the chat. So thank you all so much for coming today, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.